Welcome, fellow entrepreneurs and goal getters, to Entrepreneurial Elevation Unleashing Greatness Within with myself, your host, Kelley Beveridge. And on today's episode, what we're going to chat about is how to shift and attract and manifest more of what you want into your life. Because at the end of the day, you are 100% responsible for creating the life of your dreams and designing your life. And I want to talk about this concept, be, do, have. Okay, where most people focus on the have. Once I have this, then I can go and do this, and then I can be this. So we're going to dive into this concept today to support you in attracting what you want into your life faster and shifting your perspective that it's actually be, do, have, and then watch the magic happen. Okay, so let's look at this concept, be, do, have. This is a really simple concept, yet it actually can be life-changing if you're willing to change your perspective. And we say with life and setting goals and achieving results, it's being willing to change. It's being willing to do things differently and being willing to shift perspectives. If you're not quite achieving the success you desire right now, what has got to be different? Not just with what you're doing, yet with how you're being and with what you're thinking. Okay, so I want to talk about be, do, have, because most people, what they will focus on in their life and how they will think about their goals is think about something you really desire. And we think about it out into the future. And we're like, once I have that, once I'm making that amount of money, or once my business is earning this kind of income, or it's hit this kind of result, or once I'm in a loving relationship, or once I get to that kind of health, then I can do these things so I can feel and be a certain way. And so I want to support everybody on this episode that what if you shifted that perspective and you started with the being and the doing such that you can attract what you want to have quicker into your life. So let's focus on the first part. Let's focus on being. Okay. So this is something that you really want to consider. So when I say go out and be, right, such that you can attract what you want, what does that mean? So I'm going to give you a simple way to take a look at this. So I want to invite you to think of somebody that you feel is really successful. So when I say to you, who is successful in your mind, who pops up? Was it Tony Robbins, Oprah Winfrey, Elon Musk? Who do you think of when I say who's successful? Okay, so bring somebody to mind. And then what I want you to do is think about why. What are the qualities that this person exudes or has within them such that you're attracted to them in a way where you feel they're successful? So what qualities do they have? Is it that they're courageous, authentic? Maybe they're givers, they're visionaries, they have big visions, they're willing to take action and just get started. They don't fear failure. Possibly they're positive or optimistic. They have great attitudes. They're leaders. They just take charge and say, I'm going, who's coming? Get on the train with me. They're solution oriented. They have confidence. They feel like they have self-worth. Right? So those are just a few examples. There's a lot more of success qualities when we say, why do you think someone's successful? But that's just to give you some examples. Okay. Now here's the truth. There's something called the principle of reflection. So what in other people means that you have that within yourself as well. So if you look at someone and you have admiration for them, or you feel like they are successful and you like those qualities about them, guess what? You have those in you. Right? If you think somebody is courageous and charismatic and really positive and you're attracted to that energy, you can see it in them because you have it within you. The thing is, what happens is we start to have limitations throughout our life and we forget and we bury some of these success qualities and we stop exuding them. Okay? Because we're all born into this world. If you were born into this world as a healthy baby, right? It's like we had a clean slate, right? When we first got started. And then as we went through, life started to happen. Circumstances started to happen. We started to learn certain things and start to believe certain things based on our environment, right? And based on who we were surrounded around, based on what we were told and based on what we were taught. And we start to develop limitations. And for example, this could be things like in school, maybe a teacher by accident somehow made you feel like you weren't smart. And from that day forward, you went through your life feeling, I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. Or possibly you grew up with parents that really were strict and just wanted you to do well. So they told you no a lot. No, you can't go there. No, you can't do this. No, that's not possible. No, don't touch. No. And all of a sudden you grow up in your life being a complete rule follower and not taking any risks and being really cautious. And therefore you don't put yourself out there. Or maybe in a relationship, something happened and you decided you weren't lovable. And then therefore you're now not good enough and you're not worthy and you're not deserving. Right. So life happens and we create these stories and beliefs around ourselves that don't serve us. The truth is, we all have success qualities within us. It's just about calling it forth and reminding ourselves that we are those people if we say so, if we decide. And so I want you to think about your goals. I want you to think about what you desire in your life, both personally and professionally. Bring them to mind and revisit your goals. And what I want you to do, and here's something you can start to do to step into your beingness, because we're talking about how do you be, right? Such that you start to attract more of what you desire into your life so that you start to do and have the internal inspiration to even be in action and get into action so you can have the things you desire. So, how do you be? Here's something you can do. I want you to write down 25 qualities and characteristics of the success qualities that you feel are necessary for you to achieve your goals. Okay. So some of those things that we had mentioned. Okay. So write down 25 success qualities and look at that list. Now, you may already be being some of these things, and that's awesome because we're all successful in our own right. You have achieved success and goals and gotten yourself to this point. So you have success qualities you're already exuding. So write those down as well as part of the 25. And then just write down a whole bunch that you also feel that if you stepped into being these things, you know that you would get your goal. You know that. So once you write them down, take a look at the list. And what I want you to do is circle the one that you feel you're least exuding, you're least displaying, or that you least believe about yourself. Okay. So you've got this. Maybe you circled courageous. Okay. And so what you're going to do is you're going to, for the next week or for the next little while, you're going to practice being that success quality. So if it was courageous, this could look like, if you're relating this to business, that you, for example, you make that phone call that you're scared to make. You post on social media and you're willing to be vulnerable and put yourself out there. Possibly you start telling your friends your goals. Maybe you have goals you're excited about, you've been keeping them to yourself. So you start sharing your goals. Maybe you've been wanting to go on some trip. So you go and you book the trip. So you do the courageous things. You ask the person out, right? So in your day to day, just be aware that if your word is courageous, as an example, and opportunities come up, that you lean into being that word. You lean into being that success quality. And trust me, if you're hyper focused on this throughout the week, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to do that. Maybe your word is going to be worthy or deserving. And you're out for coffee with a friend and they're like, I got it. Right. And you just say, okay, awesome. Thanks. And you let them buy you the cup of coffee. Because if you were worthy, you would be open to receiving. Okay. You'd be open to receiving. Possibly you get up and you dress for success, or you journal around what's great about you, or you know what, you get your butt to the gym if that's something you've been wanting to do, because a worthy person wouldn't put that off. Somebody who felt deserving would be taking care of their health if that was one of your goals. Okay, so those are just a couple examples. So this is how you can be. Also, I encourage you to listen to my last episode. So episode 5, I had Jody Swift on. She talks about the pink and blue formula, and she gives really great examples of how to set your schedule and your life up for success, such that you have something called pink time, which is actually simply being time, right? I was like, what does that even mean? So listen to the episode so you can get ideas around how to be grounded in stillness. And when you're grounded in stillness, such magic happens. That's when really great ideas come to you. It's when you start to find solutions for what you're looking for. And so go back to that episode and check it out to get extra ideas around how to be. Okay. So the next one is do, because the equation is be, do, and have. Okay. This is the new perspective that you're going to start to focus on. So do, of course, this means what are you doing, right? How are you being in action? Because action solves all problems, such that you are achieving success. You're getting results. And there's a saying, it's called results are often harsh, always fair, meaning that you're going to get the results in your life based on what you're doing, how you're showing up. I cannot tell you how often in my experience of coaching people, and I've coached thousands of people, that when I get on a call with them and we're talking about their goals and they're frustrated why they're not getting the results, that majority of the time, the reason is because they're just simply not doing enough activity. They have a very warped mindset, right? Or it's very skewed on the amount of effort and energy and activity and new habits and change it's going to require and take to create the result. And I have conversations with people all the time around this. And I say, hey, listen, this is just the truth. You're either going to have to change your goal, meaning lower your goal and your expectations, because what you're willing to do right now, your level of willingness to be uncomfortable, to change, to do extraordinary effort, it's nowhere near matching what your goal is. Okay, you have this big, hairy, audacious goal, or this goal that's really exciting, and you're doing 1/10 of what is necessary to achieve it. And it's a wake up call for people. And so I have that conversation with them. I say, or what I actually encourage you to do, right, is not change your goal and be willing to change within yourself what you're willing to do on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis, how you're willing to show up and start to 2 times, then 5 times, then 10 times the amount of activity and risk and energy that you're willing to put into what your goals actually are. Okay. Now, this doesn't mean you have to go start working 10, 15-hour days, yet it's about extraordinary effort versus just waking up and doing the bare minimum. Okay. So doing is really important, and the daily practice and walking the talk, doing what you say you're going to do, right? Keeping your word to yourself in both your business and in your personal life. So you need to be being, and then you need to be doing. Now, another way to ask yourself, okay, am I on track and am I going in the right direction, is just think about people who have what you desire, who has what you want. Okay. And what you can start to do is observe them, analyze them, possibly even get a mentor or talk to people who have what you want and ask them, what did they have to do, right, to get their success and get their goals? How did they have to shift their beingness and transform who they were to get there as well? And then you can start to practice and act as if it's so right now. I don't really like that saying, fake it till you make it, right? I don't want you to be fake or inauthentic to yourself, yet you can practice being how that successful person bees, and you could practice doing what that successful person does who has what you want right now. Show up that way now and practice now, and watch the floodgates open and watch how you start to manifest and attract your results quicker. Okay. Because when you be and when you do, you will start to have. And then the cool thing about this is once you get to your goals, once you create the result you want, it's just another level, right? Because you're going to reset around what you desire. You now have a new level of experience of what you're capable of. You now have validation and evidence and proof and new formed habits of success. So you're that much further along. And then you're just going to reset your next level of goals. And guess what? Go through the same process. Okay, how do I need to be now to get that next level? What do I need to do different to achieve that next level of success such that I can have it? And you're going to just keep going through this cycle. Okay, so I encourage you to ask yourself those questions because as you've heard me say before, the quality of the questions we ask ourselves really is the quality of our life. I hope that helps everybody. So get out there and practice being and doing so that you can have everything that you're worth having. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this episode around shifting your perspective from have, once I have, I can do, and then I can be, to being first so that you then go and are internally inspired to do so that you can have the things that you want and get the results that you want in all the areas of your life. And so my call to action to all of you is to start practicing. Do the exercise where you make the list of 25 success qualities so that you can achieve your goals, and circle the ones that you believe least about yourself and start practicing showing up that way in your life. And then look at the amount of activity you're actually doing and really be honest with yourself and ask, if I keep doing what I'm doing, am I going to get to where I want to go? Or do I have to shift and increase and 10 times the amount of risk I'm willing to take or uncomfortable steps I'm willing to take such that I can attract what I want into my life faster? And so you guys, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, I would really appreciate it. This is episode 6, so I'm just getting going. If you could like and if you can download and leave a positive review, I would be forever grateful. And if you know someone that could use the support or hear this message, if you could share it with them, oh my gosh, I would be so grateful and really wanting to build my community. And I'd really appreciate that. And so just thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for tuning in. And with love, greatness, and success, it's Kelley Beveridge.